You have to be correct, excellent, even when nobody's looking. It is actually quite hard to do research right, because collecting and analyzing data is difficult, tedious. It's very easy to make mistakes. And if you make a mistake and it's a small mistake, nobody will notice. Nobody will notice. So you have to be really strong in yourself to say, no. I want the data to be right, even when nobody will notice. I want it to be right because that's the only way that science will progress. If you make mistakes, even if they're small mistakes, they could turn out to be big later on, and you don't know where the mistake was. So you always have to be very, very careful and check and double check and stay up late trying to correct things you see. And it's been so often that, you see, you have your research done and the manuscript is already in phase 3. And then all of a sudden you say, oh, this number is wrong. What's happening? This number, where is it? You have to go back to your original data and say, oh, this happened. And you have to do recalculations going forward. And all these numbers change only by a decimal, decimal here, decimal there. But you want it to be right. Even if you do everything right, good protocol, good scientific question, good answer, you have to sell your results. Because excellent data does not automatically translate to easy publication, applause from your colleagues, etc. And that's where the controversiality comes in. If your data are correct, but the results are controversial, people will still not believe you. So you have to make an extra step. You have to sell your data. You have to convince people, and then you become political. And this is only what I learned when I started doing OMERACT with the outcome measures, because it's about consensus. There's of course science and ideas and things that are better than others, but there's also very strong convictions and tradition and things like that. And the only way to get consensus is to bring people in and do compromise and talk to people and go back a little and before. And even with hard scientific data, the same process applies. So in my lecture, I will talk very briefly about a guy called Bruno Latour, who is a French philosopher. He recently died, and he actually studied the sociology of science, how ideas go from the lab into the world, and how ideas are accepted or not. So it's two things: excellence and selling your results.
We should learn how to sell these results in a scientific manner and make advocacy and bring all the social factor. Yeah, I totally agree. We have really a lack of training in this.
Yeah, and I think we are also self-selected to not be so good in this convincing things. I mean, scientists are you should be careful with making generalizations, but I think the majority of scientists are maybe a little bit less, outgoing, social, big groups of friends being in the middle, dancing, singing, more or less, maybe a little bit more serious, to themselves, modest, especially, if we talk about our own specialty, rheumatologists are by and large not very loud people, no?
Yeah, in general.
in general. And so you have to go a little bit against your character to say, okay, but now that I have these data, I'm going to talk to you, really, try to convince you that this is really good stuff.